everybody, and thanks for joining us for another episode of the PHNX Suns podcast pregame show, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I'm Lindsay Smith, here with Gerald Bourget and Espo. We are officially stuck in this building forever now.
I'm amazed.
We can't leave.
I'm amazed these people aren't sick of us by now.
I know.
Welcome to purgatory. We're just in this waiting room forever.
I'm annoyed because I'm not even actually your producer, and somehow I got stuck
Right?
with you for all this.
Exactly.
I think that's only fair.
Tonight, the Phoenix Suns will face off against the Indiana Pacers. Second night of a back-to-back before coming back home to Phoenix and hopefully being acquainted with their new team members. But before we dive into more of that, let's first talk about this game. But stay with us. We'll talk about the Kyrie rumors. We'll talk a little bit of Mikhail and, of course, Kevin Durant. Tonight, the Pacers, though, what are your guys' expectations for this one? Yesterday, we were all in agreement that it was kind of just one of those games that we didn't need to put too much stock into. How are you feeling this evening?
Devin Booker drops 80.
Okay.
The Pacers give up, I believe, the most points to the shooting guard position in the NBA on average. So why the hell not? Devin Booker's feeling good. He's got his running mate. Why doesn't he drop let's say 50. We'll give him a break. It doesn't have to be 80, but let's just have one of those insane nights tonight.
I mean, this is going to be a tough one because the Pacers just got Tyrese Haliburton back a little while ago. And the Suns, obviously, they just traded out their two starting wings, KD, TJ Warren, Darius Bazley. They're not here yet.
Can you blame them, though? Who wants to go to Indiana?
No.
I mean, nobody wants to go to Indiana.
Especially the last game of a road trip. Like, we'll meet you guys in Phoenix. We'll see you there.
We're good, thanks.
Yeah, but this will be a tough one. Hopefully, Book coming back will add a little bit of scoring oomph because, last night was a little bit of a struggle to score. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game, but the Pacers aren't like world beaters either, so I really don't know what to expect. Hopefully a bounce back night from DA, but again, this team is on the second night of a back-to-back, so they've got that working against them.
I think having Devin back is the biggest key for the Suns here because, like you said, the scoring oomph that he provides, where you're missing a lot of that in no longer having Mikhail and Cam in the lineup, especially prior to getting your new teammates active and available to play. And then hopefully I'm sure, just like with us, there will be kind of a lingering hangover of emotions for a few days with this team. But yesterday, I think, is probably the most heightened emotions of this whole situation. I'd like to think that they've all been able to share those feelings, call Cam and Mikhail, talk to their people, all that kind of stuff. And you kind of just have processed it a little bit more. So I don't know that we can use that, not as an excuse, but there is some grace given there from last night, where tonight I feel like they might be feeling a little bit better about the whole thing.
I hope it's shifted to excitement at this point. You've gone through the really hate to see these guys go, the emotion of that, the emotion of your all-team meeting yesterday with those guys. And now it's Book's playing tonight. We've got these reinforcements coming. We're the talk of the NBA. Let's go out there and show them what we can do for one of the last times before we have Kevin Durant in this lineup, and show them, hey, we ain't that bad even without KD, and prove that. Look, for me, it comes down to this. DA, get more than 2 rebounds. I know you want to do, honor the Twins last night with getting a rebound for each of them. Now go out and actually grab the boards more efficiently, more effectively, and more aggressively.
Get like 7 for each of the Twins this time.
Yeah, 14 sounds great.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be too much of a challenge because Miles Turner is not the best rebounder in the world over on the Pacers side of things. And you mentioned that they give up a lot of scoring to the Indiana Pacers. One thing that's kind of interesting, in their last game against Indiana, Josh Okogie was their leading scorer with 24. He just dropped 25 last night, and he's starting tonight. So maybe there could be something there. So you're telling me
it's going to be back-to-back Josh Okogie games?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Devin Booker coming back might take a little bit of the wind out of the sails.
There's a few less shots available tonight than there was last night.
Yeah, but I mean, Book
maybe he should have stayed in that second unit then. Book can dominate with the starters. Okogie dominating with that second unit.
Yeah, just something to keep an eye on.
It'll be fun though. I'm sure at the very least, I think we'll have a enjoyable basketball game.
Mm.
Where last night everything just felt real heavy. Even though the Suns did work hard last night, and there were moments in time where they tried to get back, and I don't know that they were ever fully out of it. Because they did close the gap a little bit there in the third quarter. I think that was a solid effort to at least stay within distance of the Hawks. But tonight, I think it'll be a much more competitive game.
Yeah, I hope so. Like they fought hard. I'm not going to take that away from them. You could tell stuff was weighing on their mind, and they were just kind of fighting an uphill battle all night. So hopefully they get off to a better start tonight. Maybe not physically the chance to rest since they played last night, but maybe an emotional break and a mental one too. And like you said, maybe hopefully turning the page. Obviously, they're still going to miss these guys a day after the fact, but turn the page a little bit, focus on the game, and get a W.
Well, look, they're going to feel that way for a while, but I don't think it'll be as raw, which I think yesterday it was very raw in general. So hopefully today is just, we miss these guys. We miss being out there, but there's things to take care of now.
How many minutes do you think Devin will play tonight? Because I'm sure there will still be some sort of a minutes restriction for him. Where do you think it is now?
Well, if he gets really hot in the first quarter, Monty will take him out for like 12 straight minutes. So,
oh boy.
No, I think he's probably 30 to 35. Like, I don't
think so.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna completely keep him in the 20s. Like, why? I think they'll give him 30 to 35 if this is a close game. If it's not a close game, there's no point. Take him out. Either in either direction, take him out and don't overuse him. But with 3 days after this off, I could see them going 30, 35.
Yeah, I'm going to probably put in the 25 to 30 range. I think they learned their lesson from Book coming back maybe a little bit too early on Christmas. They were doing the same sort of thing with Cam Johnson after he missed extended time. So I'm going to guess 25 to 30, but we'll see. Like Espo said, it's been 3 days, I think, since his last game, and it'll be 3 more until the next game. So they do have time for him to kind of respond however he needs to more extended minutes.
Yes. So looking forward to seeing Devin out there playing tonight. We did miss him last night. As far as the injury report goes for these two squads, Kevin Durant, TJ Warren, Darius Bazley are not with the team yet. Cam Payne and Landry Shamet also remain out. And then on the Pacers side, lucky them, none, no injuries.
I love the NWT as the new thing that we get. Not with the team. Hopefully we won't see that much longer for anybody. But that was a fun one to see pop up. I was like, ooh, NWT, we don't get that much.
It'll be nice to not see that on the injury report because all season long, Jay Crowder has been
we didn't list
NWT captain.
We just listed asshole as the reason he was out. So,
Espo, what are the Suns wearing tonight?
Uniforms.
I
didn't know, so I held off. It's the Purple Icon Edition versus the Indiana Pacers Statement Edition, which is kind of a 90s throwback mashup thing, but I really don't like the yellow. If this were blue, I'd be in it.
I don't like this one at all.
It's not my favorite. It's not terrible, but it's not my favorite.
I don't mind the design because it does very much feel like some of those 90s uniforms, but that much yellow with the white as the other panel in it is a very odd combination. So this is a really weird color matchup.
Yeah.
It really is.
Purple and bright yellow is just odd.
This is not my jam whatsoever. Paolo in the comments said, any updates on Cam and Sham? Gerald, do you recall? We did get an update on Cam Payne last week, didn't we?
Not a direct one. I think it was another week or so for a reevaluation, and they've been on the road. But Dwayne Rankin had tweeted a video of him getting up shots in practice while they've been on this road trip a couple days ago. So he's obviously getting closer, but I don't know what he's been able to do or not. We'll probably have to wait until the Suns' next practice, either Sunday or Monday, to get updates on both of those guys as well.
He had that very cryptic tweet earlier in the week, too, that sounded like maybe there may have been some kind of setback, but who knows?
Cam Payne did?
Yeah, he did.
I must have missed that.
Yeah, and then he was like, back to work after the cryptic tweet. So, look, I hope there isn't anything major, but this again is one of those the Suns go completely silent about it. So.
I mean, I'm sorry. I went to Campaign's Twitter page to read exactly what he said because I remember seeing it, but the first thing I saw, can't wait for this Hogwarts legacy, which fair. But he said head down, locked in with like headphone emoji. So
the one before that, what was that one?
That was my identity is not what I do.
Yeah.
I don't know if that has to do with a setback though.
People assumed maybe a setback and then the head down. Yeah, whatever. I don't. Who knows? I mean, again, even the tweets are cryptic. We can't get any direct answer about anything going on.
This is true.
But at least we know he likes the Hogwarts legacies.
Yes,
that's the most important thing that we can take from all of that entire conversation. Pretty much.
He and Gerald just became best friends.
All right. What are you guys feeling tonight? Who you got and by how much?
I think I have what did I pick? Pacers by 2. Yeah. I just think second night of a back-to-back, even with Book back, he might be on a minutes restriction, and the Pacers have everybody healthy. So
Suns by 1.
I got Suns by 2. I don't know. I'm just going to continue to roll with the Suns until it comes to fruition. I'm going to try and speak it into existence. Saul also has Suns by 2. So Gerald, hopefully at the end of this, you're the odd man out.
Hopefully we're all predicting a very close game.
I think this is the Jalen Smith revenge game, though. Monty beforehand said he screwed up by not playing him more, so maybe that gets back to him, and he has like all of 9 points tonight.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that might be a little bit of lip service, but that's nice of him to say.
I mean, it is nice to at least acknowledge that. Listen, was Jalen Smith going to become one of the best basketball players in NBA history?
Yes.
No. But and not just to Monty, and this isn't just to put it on Monty, but the Suns as a whole. Jalen Smith could have used extra time in the development stage, right? But we didn't value that at that particular point in time. As an organization.
That and they drafted him to be a 4, and he's not a 4, he's a 5. So that was just bad from the start.
All he needed was Monty's love to blossom into one of the greatest big men in NBA history.
Is that what it was?
And Monty held it back.
Oh, boy.
And now Monty's seeing the error of his ways. He must have had 6 kids play on his iPhone today and went, man.
Just real hit him in the feels.
Really screwed that up, man. I lost Cam, Mikhail, and now I remember what I did to Jalen. I just can't handle this.
Oh, dear.
Oh, gosh. What do our
I'm losing
friends
my mind.
at the DraftKings Sportsbook app think about this one?
They think that it's a 2.5 point favorite for our friends in Indiana. So Suns, you can actually get them on plus money right now, plus 120.
Okay.
I almost took the Suns money line for our DraftKings picks today. And I kind of was like, I know I selected the Suns to win by 2. The money line is 2.5. I feel like it should be a solid game to take that bet, but ultimately I went with something else. Mostly because I wanted to know if I had won my bet earlier than having to wait until the end of the game. So I decided to go with the first field goal pick tonight. I
put actual $10 on the Suns money line and used if they go up by 10 or more at any point in the game, I'm going to get the win. So
tell the people what else we put $10 on.
We put Sean and I put $10 on Jock Landale first basket, which it's going to take a lot, Sean. They're going to have to go scoreless for at least like 5 or 6 minutes. For Jock to get
before we knew he wasn't starting.
I think they should refund us our money.
I think they should
agree too,
to be honest.
Parker, can you call them and get that to happen?
DraftKings clearly thought he was going to start because he had better odds than Chris Paul. To score the first basket.
I also haven't seen Jock in that selection in a minute.
Right.
So I think DraftKings did think he was going to start.
I would hope so. Or they thought, man, we could get a lot of suckers like those Sean and Espo dudes to put $10 on this.
I don't know. But I went with first field goal tonight being a 2-point bucket. I wanted to know early on if my bet hit or not. It's a plus 110. So what did you take for our competition here, Espo? You went a little wild.
I felt spicy after my win yesterday. I said, hey, I predicted Chris Paul on a first bucket. Why not try something really out there? I said neither team to score 25 points in the third quarter at plus 1,700. So I'm expecting a real shit show of a third quarter.
Wow. Neither team to score 25 points.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I really hope this doesn't hit because you're going to win like
a lot.
Yeah, you're going to win a boatload of money and you're definitely going to be leading.
It's over.
I'm going to be so upset. Saul took Book as the first field goal tonight at a plus 360, which honestly I don't think is a bad bet. As much as it pains me to admit, I think that's a good choice by Saul.
I did emotionally hedge. Well, not emotionally hedge. After I learned that Jock Landale was not starting, I put $5 on D-Book.
Okay. I mean,
first field goal.
he hit the first field goal last game he played.
And it was a 3 too.
Yeah. And he's hit 3 of his first 4 shots. So like he normally comes out guns blazing. So it would not surprise me. It's a pretty good bet.
That's a pretty good bet.
I'm going to do that right here.
And if you guys listening want to get those odds at a plus 360, make sure you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Sign up with that code PHNX and new customers can bet $5 on the NBA and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. So you put $5 down on Book first field goal and you're going to get $200 in bonus bets instantly from the DraftKings Sportsbook app, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Again, that is code PHNX. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void in Ohio. See show notes for details. All right. A lot of stuff came out on the internet today around the Suns. Seems to be what's going to be the case for a hot minute when it comes to the Phoenix Suns.
Yep.
First and foremost, NBA Central tweeted a quote from ESPN's Brian Windhorst that said, "If you think this is over, it ain't over. Kyrie really was interested in being in Phoenix. So just start thinking about that."
Gerald has, and it's not sitting well with
now,
him.
why would he tweet that?
God, I thought we were in the clear, you guys.
This is something that I feel like has been since Kyrie requested out. He's been linked to the Suns in multiple ways. So it's not surprising that he's still being linked to him, considering because he is going to be a free agent this upcoming offseason, right?
Yeah.
Yes, technically.
My question is, how do you get that done? Would you have to? How would the Suns be able to pull that off?
I don't even know how. Like looking at their salary cap sheet, you have to trade Chris Paul just to start for basically nothing. You might have to do a sign and trade type deal there. I don't even like. Kyrie wants a 4-year, $198 million contract. That means you're paying him like $45-50 the first year. I don't know how you have to get that far below the salary cap when you're already in. I don't see it. They just added salary at the deadline, so it's not like don't.
What is it?
It's going to be a DA trade.
The sign and trade, and you send CP3 and DA to Dallas.
And that would be my actual waking fucking nightmare if they did that.
Could you imagine? So many
I would have
people's
a
heads
fucking
would
conniption.
explode. Like, oh yeah, give DA to Luke.
Look,
that's fine.
I get that the star power of Devin Booker, Kyrie, and KD would be phenomenal, but we just saw KD and Kyrie in Brooklyn and how that went. And I've brought up all the reasons why I would be against a Kyrie acquisition. Even this summer, that's a lot of money for a guy that hasn't been available, that's been problematic, that isn't even that great anymore when you look at his playoff track record and his availability. Like, I just, ugh.
Okay. Cole said stop. He ain't coming here. The Lakers are the only stupid ones to pay him that contract. Is there a scenario where you think Kyrie would take less money to come to Phoenix to play with KD and Book?
I hope
You'd
not.
have to take like the 1-year mid-level exception. Like there's no other option, right?
No, you would, and you'd still. You'd have to trade.
I would say you'd still do the sign and trade, but the amount of money he's asking for is significantly less than that.
Look,
180 some odd million.
If we're gonna look to a point guard who might want to force his way out of his current destination, and I know that he has publicly denied this every single time that he's been asked about this for years, but the Portland Trailblazers just shat the bed at the trade deadline. How much more are they going to put this man through before he finally looks at Book and KD in Phoenix and be like, I would like to go there. I would like to be there. I would like to compete for a title finally because y'all have been putting me through incompetence for a decade now.
I would love that so much.
Yes.
Because one, I would love Damian Lillard here in Phoenix in general. And two, Damian Lillard deserves better.
Yes.
He honestly deserves better. And that's not to say that the people in Portland and the fan bases and everything haven't treated him so well. They have. They love that guy. But he deserves better from a basketball standpoint. He deserves to win.
Yep.
If I'm Kevin Durant, and I get that he and Kyrie are friends, but would you just got away from that guy. Would you really want to put yourself right back in there?
Right.
Like, yeah, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. That's the Kyrie slogan. You know?
Right.
Like, I mean, what kind of psychosis do you have to want to get back into that?
That's some real Stockholm syndrome right there.
Hey, I got out of that bad relationship, but I really want to go back to it.
I'm hoping.
I mean, low key, how many people you know in your life that have done that exact
Too
same
many.
thing?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Too many.
So can you blame the man?
Yes, I can blame him. That doesn't mean that.
Yeah,
I can blame him.
I'm hoping this was a sort of leak, like from Kyrie's camp, like to send a message to the Mavs like, hey, you're going to have competition. I'm interested in the Suns. You don't want me going there. You better pay me the 4-year, $198 million. And it is feasible because he just pulled this shit in Brooklyn as far as leaking. Oh, yeah, Kyrie would love to stay here as long as he gets his extension. And he didn't get his extension. So what'd he do? He turned around and demanded a trade.
Yeah, but he's been in Dallas 3 days.
And he wants his money. He wants his extension.
that
Bitch
man
better
is
have my honey.
Like, I mean, come on. Like, if your
It is
agents are already
100% feasible. The fact that I'm having to convince the Tinfoil Hat Club leader of this is mind-blowing to me.
That's how bad it is. Like,
It's not.
If
He did this shit a week
I
ago.
my stepmom is my agent at that point if she's doing that 3 days in.
He did it a week ago in Brooklyn.
Yeah, but he'd been in Brooklyn for years. Like, literally, he just showed up. Like,
Yeah.
give it a week. Like,
No.
you
Why?
put the suitcase down and you're like, can you fill it with cash, please?
Yeah, that's how this works. Like, why are we surprised that he's doing that when he was just petitioning for a contract extension last week? Like, he's going to do the same shit, especially when the reports emerge that the Mavs are not 100% sure they're going to give him the full bag. Like, he's already posturing. I guarantee it.
Libertarian Sasquatch, thank you for the super chat, said on Draymond's podcast, he said he heard Will Barton is going to the Suns. We
That
did
would be
talk about
great.
him a little bit last night in our post-game show as buyout options for the Suns. So
That'd be great. They need another wing. They need some help and some depth there. I don't know if he'd be at this stage the starter, the fifth starter that we're talking about. But when you have Torrey Craig, TJ Warren, and Will Barton, that's a decent way to make up for a lot of the depth there that you lost.
is Draymond going to be the new Shams and Woj when he retires?
Probably.
You know what? What news I want to hear Draymond break?
What's that?
I'm coming to the Suns this offseason on that mid-level
That'd be
exception. I want to join my
phenomenal.
boy Matt Ishbia, MSU.
That would be phenomenal. I literally, in my crazy trades deadline piece, I pitched a Draymond Green trade, and it was crazy, but like, I would love him here
Well,
in
there-
I
Phoenix.
wouldn't be mad at it.
I mean,
As long as he promised
Warriors
not
ain't
to
giving him
punch
his
anybody.
money. Like,
Yeah.
so
That's the one
you know,
caveat.
he likes Book because he was trying to get him out of here with Server. So why not? Let's just play crazy.
Trade for Dame, sign Draymond to the mid-level, and we're winning a
Let's
title.
go.
It's over.
Let's go. New dynasty here in Phoenix. It's happening. We're going to speak it into existence. All right. The next thing we got for you, Nikias Duncan tweeted out that Zach Lowe says on his latest podcast that there was a team that offered 4 first-round picks for Mikhail Bridges. Does this asking price surprise you? Or this offer price, I suppose?
You know what surprises me is we're so tired we have to turn to the tweet about somebody listening to somebody else's
Well,
podcast.
I sent this morning very early, or because it was from last night, and then he wrote an article, a really great article on ESPN that mentioned it as well.
Just kidding.
Or I think it was him or Ramona and
It was Ramona and Zach Lowe.
Windhorst
Or
wrote a
Windhorst,
really
yes.
good article as well. It does surprise me a little bit, but also like if Rudy Gobert got traded for 4 firsts, Mikhail is absolutely worth 4.
Yeah.
I think before the season I would have set it at like 2 or 3, but considering the way that he was playing and the fact that Gobert got 4 in the offseason, I could see it. I'm curious what team that was, though.
Memphis offered 4 first-round picks to the Suns.
I
for
mean,
Mikhail is what
Mook Allen said bet it was the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
So
Could be.
Because they knew they're never going to say yes,
Right.
but we can at least say we tried.
And it has to be a team that can't like give up players too. Like the picks would be the central selling point.
It very well could have been Memphis, because there was also another report from Zach Lowe that says the Nets have been aware since July that Memphis was ready to trade every pick and swap of its own for Durant. They didn't get far because obviously their main players were not available to be traded in this. And obviously KD wanted to come to the Suns and only the Suns, and the Nets allowed that to be the place that it was. But if they were willing to throw in every single pick and swap that they own for KD, why wouldn't they be willing to throw out some picks for Mikhail?
I love that. They're like, yeah, no, you think James Jones says F them kids. We'll beat him. We'll throw all the swaps in too.
Yeah.
You get all the children in that one. I don't know. But it was definitely interesting. I will say I am very happy that Brooklyn did not flip Mikhail, because I know there was a lot of conversation when this trade went down that Brooklyn was going to potentially move Mikhail Bridges and take one of these type of offers for him. And while I think Mikhail is worth it, I'm glad that him and Cam have each other in the same place to go through this transition phase.
I don't know how much I believe that the Nets actually were looking to flip him, because when you read some of the articles that came out today, he was always the guy that the Nets wanted in the deal. It was the sticking point in the summer. It was a sticking point till Matt Ishbia said, no, we're going to do this. So I can't imagine that they wanted him just to simply to try to flip him for picks.
That's fair.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Because in those articles that you had mentioned, Gerald, on ESPN, that was kind of the insight that we were able to see, was that what held it up, which we speculated about last night in the postgame show, what held up the trade from getting done this summer was simply James Jones not wanting to include Mikhail Bridges, and potentially the money that came along with this trade in going over in the luxury tax. And within this article, that was the nugget that was most interesting to me, was when James Jones told Matt Ishbia how much extra money making this move would cost him. He said it was a yes in a matter of a few seconds.
Right.
Could you imagine that though? Hey man, so this idea, it's going to cost us an additional $40 million on top of the salary. What do you think? And he's just like, yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like,
Let's do it.
yeah. After your last boss was like, you want to spend what on water for the office? Like,
G League team, what?
Yeah,
How dare
I could
you?
sell that shit for $3 million. We're not keeping it.
Yeah, that was really cool to read. There were a lot of cool tidbits in that story. If you haven't checked it out, a lot of really good reporting. Ishbia was clearly very gung ho about making this happen, and he did. And everything from him muttering at the table, like, man, you can't trade for a top 5 player very often, and the way that he pushed for it. I know it sucks to lose Mikhail and Cam, but that is the advantage of having an owner come in that doesn't have the same attachment to this group of players and pushing to make it happen. I think the Suns, it makes sense why they held out with Mikhail on top of, Cam Johnson and 4 picks. It makes sense why the Nets needed him as part of that package instead of like a DA. But it hurts, but it's good that Ishbia was there to push it across the finish line.
2 things I found interesting. I know we're running out of time, but that Joe Tsai and Matt Ishbia had a relationship which helped push this along.
Yeah.
And that it was, they were talking directly to each other. And then the little tidbit that the disgraced former owner of this team had to have a Harley Davidson moved out of his office.
We've seen it.
I mean, that's insane. Why? Why have a Harley just sitting in your office? What's the point
It's
in that?
the most like dorky, corny thing I've ever seen, because we can see it from the practice court. It's just this big ass Harley sitting up in the glass offices that they have at the practice facility. It never made sense to me.
What it is small dick energy. Get Roman, all right, buddy?
Oh my God. Here we go.
Wow. We did get another super chat. This one is from Logan. Logan, thank you for your super chat. Said, I know it's early, but what will be the Western Conference Finals matchup this year, or who would you like to see?
I think it depends on seeding, so it's hard to say who's going to face whom, but I would guess if you're asking for just the best two teams, I think Suns Nuggets is my pick.
Oh, man, that'll be fun sweeping a team in the Western Conference Finals.
Also, we got a super chat from T Bounty, but I can't see it on my end. And they said it was the first one before live started. I will say, just a heads up on the super chats. If you put it in the chat before the live starts, sometimes it doesn't show up on our end of things. So if that's ever happened to you before, apologies. But T Bounty, we're about to say goodbye, but DM me what your super chat was, and we will read it first thing in the post-game show. So I'm really sorry that happened. I promise you I'm not ignoring it on purpose, though. I swear.
Sure.
All right. Well, the game's about to start, so I think we should say goodbye.
Yes.
Thank you all for tuning in. T Bounty and the rest of all of our friends here, don't forget to meet us in the post-game show after the game wraps up. Bye.
PHNX.
Hey yo, my lifestyle is retro. Tell the Phoenix Metro. Megas in control and he ain't never gonna let go. PHNX though. Lindsey Gerald Espo. Saw past the ball.